The David case just keeps getting stranger. A missing teen, a body sitting in the front of a Tesla, a superstar caught in the middle, and yet none of it actually adds up. 7 big questions still hanging in the air. Questions that could flip this whole case upside down. And until we get answers, this story's only gonna get darker. Now, if you just tuned in, let me run this down real quick so you're not lost. We talking about David. Yeah, that TikTok kid who blew up with romantic homicide. Song got billions of streams, labels lined up, brands cut him checks. He had tours overseas. All that shiny industry plant turned superstar energy. But fast forward to this month, and it's like his whole life flipped overnight. Police out in LA found a Tesla sitting in an impound lot. Workers opened the frunk, not the trunk, the front trunk, and found a decomposed body stuffed inside a bag. That Tesla registered to David Anthony Burke, the same kid y'all know as David. At first, nobody knew who the victim was, just a Jane Doe. But the coroner later confirmed it was 15-year-old Celeste Rivas, a girl who'd been missing since April 2024. That's over a year her family had been searching, hoping she'd come home. Instead, she turned up in a car tied to a rising star. From there, it snowballed. Police hit a Hollywood Hills spot where David had been staying. Walked out with laptops, evidence bags, the whole nine. His Seattle show got canceled the same day. Hollister yanked his face off their website. Collabs like Kali Uchis, gone. Even Giveon and Tate McRae unfollowed him. The industry don't wait for no judge. They cut you off quick. And while all this is going on, he's saying he didn't know nothing. He was on tour, car got towed, he's cooperating. But people online start pulling receipts, matching tattoos, old live streams, alleged messages. Suddenly, the case went from random tragedy to hold up. How deep was he really tied to this girl? That's the setup. And here's the part that keeps me up. As big as this story got, there's still a mountain of stuff that don't add up. Too many gaps, too many questions. And I'm about to walk you through the 7 biggest ones.
Details are coming into our newsroom about the missing girl found dead in singer David's Tesla. We now know police have searched a home in the Hollywood Hills where David had been living.
Eyewitness News reporter Monica Deanda joins us live from Hollywood with the very latest. Monica.
Colleen, Phillip, good morning. Take a look here behind me. This home is where David was living, although he does not own the home. LAPD investigators served a search warrant here last night, collecting evidence. Right now, however, this is only being called a death investigation and not a homicide. And we're told that is because the LA County Medical Examiner's Office is still working to determine how exactly this teen girl died. We now know the body found inside the front trunk of a Tesla at a Hollywood tow yard belonged to 15-year-old Celeste Rivas. The car where she was found registered to David Anthony Burke, a 20-year-old singer who goes by David. Take a look. This video shows crime scene investigators carrying out a laptop and other items from this home on Doheny Place as possible evidence connected to the missing teen's disappearance and death. Police remaining very tight-lipped about the investigation. But we now know this home is where the singer was staying. One neighbor we spoke to remembers seeing that distinct Tesla for a while. First, parked in front of the house police searched, and then at 2 different spots along the street.
To developing news now, police searching a home in the Hollywood Hills tonight, close to where the teen's body was found.
Now, Mike, do we know if the search has anything to do with the girl's death, though?
Yeah, so Susie and Juan, we are working on those details right now. What I can tell you is that it is literally right where we know that the car was towed from. So remember how this all happened, as you heard from Nicole. The car was towed from the Hollywood Hills. It wasn't until it was at the tow yard where the body was found. So if we go back to where the car was towed from tonight, there's a presence of Los Angeles police detectives that are out there. We can see them in their plainclothes suits. We also see crime scene techs. It appears to be centered at this home. Sky Cow was able to get a peek before it got dark, and we can see that garage door open, and we see what appear to be crime scene techs going in and out of that garage. There you see it right there. You see the door to the home open on the inside. Another Tesla with the front open right there inside the garage as well. To be clear, LAPD has not said tonight if this investigation is related to the investigation of the girl's body being found, but they are like less than 100 feet away from where it was all found. So this is all happening in the same neighborhood. We have reached out to the LAPD. We even talked to the Hollywood Watch Commander. This isn't Hollywood Division. The Hollywood Watch Commander had no idea what was going on, which leads us to believe this is not a patrol operation. This is detectives that we see out there. So working to gather some more information, but we know is that operation is happening very, very close to where that car was towed from before her body was found.
So let's start with the first question. Why the frunk? Out of all the spots in the Tesla, the back seat, the trunk, hell, even abandoned somewhere else, she ends up in the front trunk? Now let me break this down. A Tesla's frunk ain't like a regular trunk. It's smaller, tighter, made for a backpack, maybe groceries, not a human body. You don't just toss someone in there by accident. That's deliberate. And Tesla ain't some old school Honda you can pop with a wire hanger. You gotta know what you're doing. Unlock it from the screen or through the app, then physically open it. That's a whole process. Whoever did this took steps. Now here's the creepy part. If you wanted to hide something quick, why not the back trunk? Why not ditch the whole car? The front feels like somebody thought out of sight, out of mind, just long enough to get rid of responsibility. And remember, this Tesla ended up impounded. Sat in a yard for days, nobody knowing what was inside until the smell gave it up. That suggests whoever placed it there either knew the car would get towed or didn't care as long as it wasn't parked right outside. Bruh, imagine being the impound workers. You open that hood expecting a spare tire and find a decomposed body. That ain't a random tragedy. That's premeditated behavior. So question number one hangs heavy. Why the frunk? Was it desperation? Was it strategy? Or was it a message we still don't fully understand? Here's the next gap nobody can explain. How long was that Tesla actually sitting before they popped it open? Reports say it was towed on September 6th, but the body wasn't discovered until September 8th, when workers finally checked the frunk. 2 whole days. Now let me ask you, a body in LA heat, decomposing in a closed-up car? You mean to tell me nobody noticed sooner? Impound lots usually log a car, snap photos, maybe check compartments, but here, it just sat, parked between 100 other cars, and it took the smell leaking out before anybody realized what was inside. And that's what makes it weirder. Because if this car had been sitting there longer than 2 days, like neighbors claim, saying they saw it parked outside the Hollywood Hills house for days, then the timeline stretches even more. Was she already gone before the car even got towed? Or did something happen closer to the date? See, this matters. Timeline is everything in a case like this. If the body was already there for weeks, that points one way. If it was placed right before the tow, that points another. But the fact we don't have that clarity yet, that's a big hole in the story. So the second unanswered question is simple. How long was the Tesla really sitting? And why does nobody have a straight answer? Here's another hole in the case. Who actually had their hands on that Tesla? Yeah, it's registered to David Anthony Burke, but bruh, that don't mean he was the only one driving it. Think about it. This man's on tour, bouncing city to city. Y'all really think the car just sat untouched the whole time? Nah. Managers, friends, assistants, even random homies could have had those keys. And let's not forget, police searched the Hollywood Hills house where he'd been staying. Neighbors said they saw that Tesla with Texas plates parked out front for days. So who else was at that house? Who else could have slid in and out? Here's where it gets tricky. If multiple people had access, proving who put Celeste in that frunk gets 10 times harder. We've seen this play out before. Remember O.J. Simpson's white Bronco? The car became the evidence, but it wasn't about who owned it. It was who was inside at the time. Same thing with YNW Melly's Jeep. Prosecutors said the car told the story, but the defense tried to flip it, arguing different shooters, different angles, different access. Even take Young Thug's YSL case. Cops tied crimes to cars, houses, rentals, but in court, it always comes back to who really had access, who left fingerprints, who sent texts from inside. Ownership alone don't stick. And the internet, they don't care about legal nuance. They see Tesla registered to David and boom, guilty in the court of Twitter. But law enforcement can't move like that. They got to prove possession, not just paperwork. So this is the third unanswered question. Who really had access to that car? Till cops nail that down, everything else is speculation. Now this one right here is the biggest head scratcher. A body found in your car, a search warrant on your crib, Evidence bags, laptops, even neighbors saying they saw the Tesla outside. And somehow, no charges? Here's the thing. Cops are calling this a death investigation, not a homicide. That's because the coroner hasn't ruled on two key things yet. Cause of death, what killed her, and manner of death. Was it accident, suicide, homicide, undetermined? And without those boxes checked, prosecutors can't file charges that stick. Let me break it down. If the body's too decomposed, the coroner might not be able to tell if it was blunt force trauma, suffocation, poisoning, whatever. That slows everything down. And in this case, Celeste had been missing for over a year. Her remains weren't fresh evidence. They were degraded, and that makes rulings tough. And until the coroner says homicide, police can't label anybody a murderer. If they rush charges, defense lawyers eat them alive in court. You don't even know how she died? Cops ain't dumb. They know the public already convicted David on Twitter, but legally, they need airtight evidence. DNA inside that car, time of death matching his timeline, digital footprints, surveillance cams. Without that, the DA won't risk the embarrassment of a tossed case. And here's another layer. Police seize laptops and a computer from that Hollywood Hills house. They're not just looking for random files. They want proof of contact. Messages, photos, travel receipts, anything showing the relationship. If they find that, plus a coroner ruling homicide, that's when charges drop. So the fourth unanswered question is clear. Why no charges yet? Is it because the coroner really can't call it? Or because detectives are building a bigger case in silence? Either way, the clock's ticking. And public pressure don't let cases like this just fade away. Now this one right here got the internet spiraling. Celeste had a tattoo on her right index finger. The word shh, like the quiet sign. And guess who else got that same tattoo on the same finger, same spot? Yep, David himself. Bruh, out of all the tattoos in the world, y'all end up with the same exact ink? That ain't no casual coincidence. Now, police haven't come out and said this proves anything official, but let's keep it a buck. Tattoos are personal. They're like bookmarks of your life. You don't just wake up and get one on a whim, especially in the same place as somebody else. When a 20-year-old man's got matching ink with a 15-year-old girl, that don't look right.
He got cooked.
Adrian, you didn't go down like that, huh?
He got cooked.
Something about this very, very tragic David and Celeste situation that nobody has been really talking about is the fact that the average pedophile doesn't have to be that 60-year-old man who likes teenager. It can also be your homeboy who's in his 20s that still likes high schoolers. This has happened to me. Like, I was getting DMs from 20-year-old guys when I was like 15, 16, and I would tell them I'm in high school still, and they'd be like, it don't matter, we're still close in age. Like, what do a 21-year-old and a 16-year-old have in common? Nothing. She was manipulated, she was groomed, and she was a child. This is all alleged, by the way, so I don't get freaking sued, but yeah.
And it gets worse when you line it up with the other puzzle pieces. Her mom straight up told TMZ her daughter had a boyfriend named David. You add that with the tattoo match, live streams where they're talking together, and photos side by side. That's not some random fan moment. That looks like intimacy. Look, the tattoo alone ain't a crime. If it was, half of Hollywood would be locked up for copying each other's infinity signs. But in cases like this, little details matter. Ask any prosecutor. Juries latch on to stuff like this. The weird coincidences, the wait a minute moments. And matching tattoos on different generations, that's one of those moments. We've seen similar things expose celebs before. Think about Ariana Grande and Pete Davidson's matching ink. When that breakup happened, everyone was like, what's the story behind the tattoos? Or when NBA players and their side chicks get caught with the same quote tattooed, that ink tells on you. So the fifth unanswered question ain't just about the tattoos themselves. It's about what they symbolize. Were they a secret pact, a sign of grooming, or just the ugliest coincidence in recent memory? Now this right here is the question that got everybody side-eyeing the whole situation. Were they just acquaintances, or was this a full-blown relationship? Because TMZ didn't just stop at the tattoo thing. They dropped photos. David and Celeste sitting side by side in a booth, both in black, looking real comfortable. In one of those pics, David's rocking the exact same shirt he wore in a flick with Billie Eilish. You saving your Billy fit for a night with a teenager? That don't scream coincidence. Then there's the live stream clip from January 2024. Celeste right there on camera telling them to answer comments. That's not fan and artist. That's interaction like they're used to each other. Her mom said it too. Celeste had a boyfriend named David. Not celebrity crush, not pen pal, a boyfriend. And when a 15-year-old's calling a 20-year-old her man, that's grooming, period. Then the receipts get nastier. Alleged messages where she told a friend he took her V card. And whether you believe the screenshots or not, friends and even her brother confirmed she was wrapped up with him. That's a pattern. And this ain't the first time music's seen this play. R. Kelly had folks defending him for decades, even while the receipts piled up. Diggy Simmons rumors, B2K stories, even modern cases where artists slid into underage DMs. The grooming playbook don't change. Fame gives them access, the fan angle gives them cover. And by the time people notice, it's too late. So what was the true nature of David and Celeste's connection? Because matching tattoos, live streams, photos, and boyfriend confessions don't line up with just being friends. That's deeper. That's intimate. That's the exact setup the feds call exploitation. Which is why the sixth unanswered question cuts the deepest. Was this a superstar in the making or a predator hiding behind the microphone? This is the part that really shows how deep the fallout is. The second Celeste's name was confirmed, boom, dominoes started falling. His Seattle show canceled instantly. Hollister, who just had his face plastered on that site, wiped him clean like he never existed. Poof. One day a model, next day a ghost. Callie Uchis, she hopped on IG, told fans the collab Crashing is being pulled from streaming. Even clapped back at people blaming her, saying it's internalized misogyny. Translation, don't blame women for men's actions. Then Tate McRae unfollowed them on socials. And in 2025, an unfollow is basically a press release. And behind the scenes, especially TMZ says Interscope and UMG froze his rollout. That deluxe album he was teasing, shelved. Promo budget, gone. Because corporations don't play with risk. See, the industry don't wait for judges. They wait for headlines. If your name's tied to grooming, a missing kid, or a body in your car, you're radioactive. Labels pull the plug, brands hit eject, and artists you collabed with scatter like roaches when the lights come on. And this ain't new. We saw it with Tory Lanez, blackballed before a single gavel hit. DaBaby, one festival rant and sponsors ran faster than his PR team. R. Kelly, collabs disappeared overnight once public opinion flipped. Even Travis Scott after Astroworld, tours paused, collabs delayed, Nike pulled sneakers. The industry is built on self-preservation, not loyalty. So why so fast with David? Maybe they know more than we do. Maybe cops gave labels a quiet heads up. Or maybe it's just business. One headline like this, and he's a liability, period. Because here's the cold truth. In music, guilt don't start in court. It starts in public opinion. And once the people decide you're guilty, the industry cuts you off like a bad verse. So the seventh unanswered question is this. If the law hasn't charged him, why has the industry already buried him? It's either the brands know something we don't, or they just don't care if he's innocent. Their only loyalty is to the bag. Look, man, this whole case is bigger than one artist. It's a reminder of how fast fame can flip. One day you the TikTok success story, next day you the headline nobody want to touch. And beyond the fame, it's about accountability. A 15-year-old girl lost her life. Whether David ends up guilty or not, the fact her name is even tied to him shows how dangerous them blurred lines between stars and young fans really are. Fame ain't a pass to cross boundaries. The street's been saying it forever. The industry only love you when you profitable. The second you look like a liability, they cut ties faster than your Wi-Fi. So don't get it twisted. This ain't about morals, it's about money. But the bigger lesson, we gotta protect kids. Period. Grooming, exploitation, all that. Nah, they just friends talk. That's how predators hide. If Celeste was failed by adults, schools, cops, and even the music world, that should haunt everybody, not just one artist's fan base. So I'm leaving y'all with this. Do you think the industry already knows the truth about David, or are they just trying to save face? Drop your take in the comments. And if you rocking with this breakdown, check the video that just popped up on your screen. It's going to give you even more context on how messy the music world really is. I'll see you on the next one. Panda out.